It's Wednesday, August 13, 2025. Now, I know this video is starting on Wednesday. It's been an interesting few days. Unusual, I guess I should say, rather than interesting. First of all, I haven't been feeling good in a long time. And it just seems to be getting worse. My body hurts, my head hurts. But I'm just hoping to treat myself well and eat right and get some activity and whatnot. I am seeking some medical care, so don't worry about me too much. And I have had, the basic rundown tests, so don't worry. There's nothing catastrophically wrong with me. It's just one of those things that can't really nail down. And one of the things is my neck is really sore, as you can probably tell. I just don't want to move my neck to the left. So yesterday I did actually take a couple of days off, and it's been raining quite a bit here, so it's been a good time to take a couple of days off. Yesterday it was a really fun day, and I'm kind of feel bad that I wasn't feeling better, but it was a fun day regardless, and I think everybody had a good time. If you remember last winter, I built that yellow, it turned out to be yellow, retail shelving unit for one of my stores. And I took it over to a daycare. It's about a 45-minute drive away, to have them paint a whole bunch of freeform artwork on it, and they did a great job. It looks really wonderful. I'll put a couple of pictures in here right now, just in case you hadn't seen that video and seen the pictures. So everybody at the store thought it was great, and I was so thankful for them to do that for me. So yesterday was kind of I have a good relationship with them. We don't keep score, but it was kind of a nice day, an opportunity to give back. And so what I did was I loaded up my observation hive here in the morning, and I went out there and spent, I don't know, it was an hour or two with a few actually different groups of the daycare. There's quite a wide range of ages in that daycare. The one that painted it they call school age, so they're not little kids. They're young, but they're school age kids. That's why they call it school age, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, went out there, took bee hats and bee jackets, and everybody got pictures and found the queen and looked at the bees. And so we talked for a little bit. I didn't really have a program or presentation for them, but we did talk about bees a little bit. I actually, I had a little happy accident here a week ago or so. In messing with my comb honey, I had got some of it spread out too much, and they actually built some comb in the middle between the frames. So I took that out, I laid it on the hive. The bees cleaned the little bit of honey that they had in it, they cleaned it out. And so I had this really nice white honeycomb. So I put quite a bit of it actually in a Ziploc bag, took that along, and I gave it to the kids to play with and just experience beeswax and the comb and how the bees do this. And we talked about that a bit. So it was a lot of fun. And so that was basically yesterday. I've been doing little jobs here and there every day, but I just haven't been feeling up to very much. But I need to get cracking because I've got things to do in the apiary. So one of the things I have to do, or at least one of the things I want to do, is I'm going to take a crack at some Formic Pro this summer. I've thought about it a lot, and to me, in my perception of how that stuff works very well. Is one of the characteristics is it does kill some of the brood for a period of time. And so I thought about that a lot, and I thought, early to mid-August is probably about the best time to kill brood. There's lots and lots of bees. They have no jobs. They have nothing to do. So after that, brood kill happens and the queen starts to lay again, those eggs she's laying are the the bees that are going to raise the winter bees. So that's how that progression happens. And I think I have it right. I don't know if Lloyd watches my videos, but he can give me a call and tell me if I've got that wrong. I kind of wanted to get it done earlier than this, but just my schedule, my lack of preparedness, and the rain has kind of pushed it off. The temperatures seem pretty ideal. They did seem more ideal, but they've upgraded the temperature forecast high for tomorrow to 29, which is 29.5 is the ceiling for that stuff. Particularly the first 3 days needs to be 29C or less. So I think I'll be okay still. So that's what I'm planning to do. But also I have another job. There are a few doubles out there. And so at the same time to put on Formic Pro I'm going to put 2 pads, 2 weeks is what I'm going to do. I have to shake down those doubles. I have to make sure the queen is in the bottom box, put a queen excluder, and I'll put the Formic Pro at that time. So there's shakedowns to do. And there's also some transfers to do. I need to get some of the 4-frame boxes of my mating nukes, my 4-frame mating nukes. I need to get those 4-framers moved into 6. And I'm not sure, I think there's a couple of more 6s that could use a second box. So I need to do that as well, because I need to get that second box done. When I put a queen excluder, I like to pull a bait frame up that has some brood in it, and I need time for that brood to emerge out of that second box, so then I can take it away. So there's all of that. And I'm going to put 1 pad of Formic Pro on my 6-framers. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to freshen everything up. And I'm going for broke here. I'm just going to do it. And there's a lot of people use the product. I have a really good in with the manufacturer's rep. He's been very good to me in answering all my questions. So I'm gonna go for it. It's a viable treatment, and people use it all the time. So I'm in the shop today, or at least this morning I'm in the shop for a little while, because I ran out of equipment. And that's kind of a good problem, but it's a problem no less, right? And how I ran out of equipment is in doing the transfers from 4-frame to 6-frame, I don't have any bottom boards for that. I have 3-way pallets, but the way they're laid out in my apiary, and I should maybe think farther ahead and solve this problem farther ahead than I have. The way I've laid it out, it's hard for me to take a 3-way pallet, which is integrated bottom boards, put it up there and transfer a 4-frame into it. So what I need is a 6-frame bottom board. I don't have any. So I'm going to make some 6-frame bottom boards. And what I have is I have some blanks that I've cut previously in inventory. I've cut these previously for 6-frame cover, right? So they're actually a little bit oversized, which is fine. So that's going to be the bottom of my makeshift bottom board. And I actually have some 1.5-inch high feeding shims that I made a few years ago, used once, made for my 6-frame boxes. And so I'm going to put those right on these covers, and that's going to make a makeshift bottom board. And I'll only have to use this for, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe, until the weather gets cool enough one day I can pick those boxes up, move them over to a 3-way pallet elsewhere in the apiary. I just can't move them anytime because flyback, etc. So what I need to do here is I need to cut an entrance in these. I've decided to cut a 3/4-inch tall by 3-inch wide entrance. And why am I choosing that size is that fits my instant vaporizer perfectly. So once, you know, Formic Pro is done through September, October, I'll be vaporizing my colonies regularly with oxalic acid vapor to keep those dastardly mites down. And so I've cleaned the table saw off a bit. My wood shop gets to be a complete disaster in the summer, as I'm sure you can imagine. And so I've cleaned the table saw off, I've put the dado blade in, and I'm going to just cut those entrances. I've got 10 of them here that I'll cut. I'm not sure how many I need, but I've got 10 that I'm going to make up anyway. And it's cricket season, as you can hear. I've got the doors open. It was kind of hot in here, so I opened the doors. So yeah, they're full swing, chirping, trying to find a mate, I suppose. All right. Okay, as it happens when you're not feeling well, you forget to press record. All right, so I ran those over the dado blade like that, and they're 3/4 inch high, 3 inch wide, and just placed on my plywood blanks. Makes a nice makeshift bottom board. They're not going to get screws or nails or glue or staplers, anything. They're just going to sit there because it's only going to be 6 weeks or so until I can move those to the 3-way pallets for the winter. So that's, I think, it for wood shop for now, and I'll take you along out there and we'll put some of these on and have some shakedowns to do as well. Thanks for watching, for what it's worth, even when I forget to press record. Now the first order of business is to put these bees away. They've been in here about 24 hours, which really isn't that long to be in here. This hive, observation hive, is a design that I found on Bee Source, and it's built dimensionally so that you could actually run bees in here full time. Now it's not very big, it's only 2 deeps and a medium, but the bee space is more or less correct inside, and it has ventilation, etc. But you know, there's no entrance right now. I've got it for portable use. The entrance you can reconfigure down the bottom there to give them an entrance. If you have a building, you could put a tube out through the wall and whatnot. So I built this a few years ago, and I used quarter sawn white oak. It's one of my favorite woods to use. It's got a shellac finish, which isn't the best to use for this purpose. Up here it's pretty good. Down below, the shellac is taking a beating. It should have more like a polyurethane. The screws on the top have been in and out so many times that they're just kind of, the holes are just kind of stripped out. So that just sits on there. And then I don't take, the blinds just slide out like this, and then the glass slides out in similar fashion. I don't take the blinds out right away because as soon as the sun hits the glass, then it just turns into a big oven. And I think it's probably warm enough in there. And what I do is I'll lean this against something, usually a hive, in such a way that the glass and the blinds and the glass will clear the hive. So now I can pull this out, and I need to use, it's really easy to use a J-hook hive tool to pull the frames back to remove them. So you're going to witness that now, and hopefully the bees don't light me up too bad. They're usually pretty anxious to get out of there. Now I hope the reunion with the remaining bees in their little nuke goes well. And of course, I don't choose my star performer for this task. It's usually a disposable colony. Kind of afraid because they come whistling out of there pretty fast. Usually, yeah, here they come. They go slow, they collect at the top. They ride the glass. Okay, there we go. And I like to do this on a nice day because I normally end up leaving it to sit a while, just for all the stragglers to go back to the hive. So there's that one. Now I can get this one. Okay, like I say, this will sit there for a while today while I work. This medium of honey needs to go back. So you can see I've got some decent honeycomb on the way. Okay, the little bees are back in their hive. That colony is not going to be big enough to make the winter. So this is a good use for them. They'll just be terminated at the end of the season. So the next job here is I have honey producers here. So honey producer means there's brood chamber, queen excluder, and then some honey supers. So I also have the honey producers. They'll get Formic Pro put under the queen excluder, and I have a bunch here. I can't see the screen, so there's doubles out here, and they need a shakedown because they're just double brood chambers. And I'll shake those down, put a queen excluder on there, and a couple of Formic pads under that. So we're going to do this whole apiary. I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to apply this stuff and put my big boy pants on and just do as it was instructed. And I did consult the forums yesterday with a question about, I hear people say that the formic acid does mess up the metal queen excluders. Exactly what it does to them, I don't have experience with, but I got a lot of comments. I got a lot of comments. Most of them had nothing to do with my question. Some people, I find it so comical that, anytime you ask a question, a very specific question like that, there's a certain group of people that can't wait to chime in and say, I don't use that product because, honey supers and blah, 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 for whatever reason, right? It's kind of like, you know what? A, that wasn't a question, and B, I really don't care. So I was quite amused with some of the comments that are got. People just, if you're that passionate about it, then make a post to that effect. Don't bother cluttering up the bandwidth with that kind of nonsense. Anyway, so I found that comical. But I did get some constructive answers as well. People who have used it, people who have experience with it. Corey was here a few weeks ago. He's used it, and he said he did notice some discoloration. So what he does is he uses a 3/4 inch shim under the queen excluder, puts the Formic pads under the queen excluder, so that keeps the queen excluder off of the Formic pad. I don't have 3/4 inch shim. I do have some other shims here though. I don't know if I have enough for. They're a little wider, and I'm hesitant to put shims on an honey flow because, boy, that can cause you problems, and you can lose honey that way too, because they build comb, fill it with honey, and then there's nothing you can do with that. I'm going to go for broke. There were people also that said, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to say, okay, it's not a big deal. I'm going to go for broke and just put this stuff under the queen excluder and let the chips fall where they may. The plastic queen excluders, that's kind of one place they're kind of nice, is because they're not affected by the formic acid at all. All right, well, I got to get to this. Thanks for watching. Okay, here's the first shakedown. I'm going to do an inspection on these two because I don't want to have to go through too much effort for colonies that aren't viable. And I don't keep very good notes, as you know, but I do know a bit of history on this one. This says FA25, which means this is one of my new queens from this season. And holy smokes, it's right full of bees. Okay, so this kind of, this is good to see, right? I'm going to crack the top box set it aside because I want to look in the bottom before I do anything else. I don't have a chair. And if I see the queen, then, you know, then I don't have to shake anything. They're a little bit animated, but I did smoke them. Yeah, they're, boy, they are. They are crabby. Okay, let's try that again. Brood and pollen. Lots of drone brood on the bottom. Well, it's a little bit of a pointless endeavor this time of year, but it is what it is. Yeah, they're very running around. Okay, young larva. Good. Nice slab. Very good. Oh, it's a pleasure using these Max and Hive tools. I mean, you maybe think I'm kind of crazy, but, you know, I'm doing this work and I'm thinking, why, that is really nice. And then I realize, yeah, that's a Max, and I think they should be ashamed of themselves for not producing those. It's a disservice to the beekeeping community. That nice Jarrow I bought, I think I paid 30 bucks for that. Nobody likes to pay more than they have to, but for a quality tool, I'm okay with that. You know, it's not something I buy tons and tons of. So it's 30 bucks maybe 2 or 3 times. I got my sunglasses on. I can't do inspections with sunglasses on. I think she's laying, oh, there she is right there. This says FA25, but that queen has a green mark. It should be blue. She's laying like a trooper for sure. Okay, see, so that's awesome. I don't need to put, I don't need to shake this down now. I can put my Formic Pro and my queen excluder and my second box back on. Okay. Don't get too cranky. Wow. So I bought the 30 pack. Oh. We don't need instructions. You do need to follow instructions. I'm just being silly. I have previously read the instructions. I don't have gloves on, so I'm going to have to be careful. So each of these bags has one treatment. So this is 2 pads in here. I'm going to see if I can do this without gloves. Maybe I'm fooling myself. They're hooked together at the end. The bees sure don't like it. Alright, so get one of these kind of up here. I think it says 4 inches from the side. And it was 2 or 3 inches apart. You have to read the directions though. Don't unwrap it. Leave that paper on there. Wow, that smells. It's like vinegar times 1,000. So I'll put the queen excluder. And I get this second box. This box is right full of bees and honey. Look at that. Beautiful honey frame. Okay. 2 weeks. Ooh. That's pretty impressive. These doubles, these were lagging earlier. And they seem to have changed their ways. Yeah, I do want to get in the bottom as well. But I'm going to take myself a chair. That's heavy. I have my lifter over there. I should be using it. Didn't think these seconds would be that heavy. Well, it's not that warm out here. And I think the bees get a little cranky when I open them. But look at this story frame, right full of drone brood. They're emerging. Yeah, she's laid that right up. Very nice. Okay. Just look through this. See how it's doing. I haven't seen it in a long time. See if I can see the queen. Save me some work. They've kind of cut back on the comb here because it's facing the drone frame. It's no big deal. It's just why the comb looks weird. Good population, boy. Good population. If it wasn't the 13th of August, I'd give them another box. I'm quite certain there's no flow. Right now, there's a pollen feeder over on the side and the bees are all over that. But it has been raining for a few days. And I think the nectar flow and the pollen supply probably takes a while to regenerate after a good rain. Wow, total slab of brood. This is going to explode. Oh my goodness. Okay. This one really rebounded. It's nice to see. The bees really were slow this year because of the drought. We slowly started to get a little bit of rain. And I think the bees really picked up on that. Yeah, that is right full of brood. Frames and frames of brood. You know what frames and frames of brood means, though? It means frames and frames of mites. That's what this Formic Pro is supposed to take care of for me. Kill the phoretic mites, kill a good proportion of the mites in the cells, not all of them. It looks like I'll be shaking this one down if I don't see the queen. And there's not as much, there's not as many eggs and whatnot here, so she's probably laying in the second box. And they've been backfilling some of this. Wow, another slab, nearly. Lots of drones. Drones, they have no purpose now. I would just love to see the queen, because that shaking thing is a bit of work. These are just heavy feed frames. So it looks like I'll be shaking. Okay, shake this down. This is my preferred method to shake down. Pull it right out of the box on the hive. And I don't have to lift that box. I mean, I know I did, but I'm not just doing a shakedown, I'm doing an inspection first. I'll leave the first one here for a moment so I have space. And then I take a quick look for the queen and give that a shake. Now I can give this first one a shake. And so on and so on. Look at this. I think this one finally got with the program. Wow, there's a lot of bees in here. Haven't seen the queen. I'm not sure this queen was marked. So, okay, this is gonna be dicey. Because I need to get all these bees down in there. And I need to get Formic Pro on. And a queen excluder. Well, it's not easy. I wonder if I just dump them at the entrance. I'll give them a little bridge. They're coming out, not going in. They don't like that Formic at all. Sorry, the camera battery went dead. So I finished those doubles. I shook them down and put the Formic on them. And then I went for lunch. I'm finding that it's far better for me to take a good solid break in the middle of the day. Typically, I'm just the kind of person that I'll get up and I'll get going in the morning, and then I'll work until 4 o'clock, and then I'm just dead. But I find that if I get up and get going, and then 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I'll stop for even 2 hours, have some lunch, rest for a while, then come back. I'm far more refreshed. I've eaten, I've got some nutrition in me ready to go. So I should be able to get quite a bit of this done. Now, I've got kind of a decision to make here. These 4 framers, some of them really aren't boomers. They're not pressuring the size of the box, but if they're going to winter in 6, they've got to get a move on. And I just find that if I change a box on a colony too late, they kind of don't do very well over the winter. It's just an anecdotal thing that I've noticed. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and transfer all of these 4s into 6s with this makeshift bottom board idea that I've got. So I'm going to need extra comb for that, which I'll have to go and get. But also some of my extra comb will come from colonies like this, which has no queen. So I'll shake the bees off, and you know, that's 4 frames, so that'll make enough comb for 2 colonies expansion. Yeah, and my other question is, I know it's recommended when you put Formic Pro on a colony, you should have a second box, but some of these don't have a second box. Do I need to get a second box and put a second on these in order to use Formic? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out here pretty quick because I want to do it today and tomorrow. All right. Well, thanks for rejoining me after the camera battery went dead, and I've charged it up now, so hopefully you'll be able to see some of this. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's do some of these. Of course, this one's done. This one has no queen, and these 2 need to be transferred. My back is actually starting to hurt quite a bit. That's part of what's been wrong lately with me. I've had some physio care and some consultation with my doctor and whatnot, so I know the biggest problem with my back is my front. So I'll line that up best I can. I'll get a wooden box on it. And that really looks quite ideal. I like the way that looks, especially for a temporary situation. I want my frame gripper, which is right there. Okay, here we go. Quick look. It's always nice to identify where the queen is, so you can keep her nice and safe. It's a nice brood pattern. These should fill out quite nicely very quickly. Those new queens really lay well into the late season. I always like to see my queen. Make sure she's safe. She should be marked. There she is. She's right there. Nice big yellow one. Okay, I'm going to grab a couple of frames from this one over here. That one's laying worker. It didn't mate properly, so it's all good. They don't all work out. Okay, I just need a lid for that. I don't need to mark the queen information on these because obviously they're mating nukes, their new production for this year, so. Okay, one down, let's do some more. That's a nice looking bird frame. There's my queen.
Always nice to see where she is. Move this one in, it's empty. This one's full of feed. Here's my yet unused Gero hive tools. When I did my assessments recently, I marked this one with a T for transfer. So it's going to be a full box. I might be able to put a second on it. Yeah, my gut says yes. Yeah, it's pretty good. But I will need more comb for that. Just hope the first one I yank doesn't have the queen on it. These boxes I made, there's extra space in the bottom, so they'll build comb sometimes. Just a quick look for the queen. Nice brood frames. There's eggs on that frame. So the queen is probably in the vicinity. She could even be in the box because there's lots of bees in the box still. Okay, I'm going to work a couple others in case I can find comb to use for the extras there. This one has no check mark on it, so it might not have a queen. Yeah, these are just laying workers. Big greater wax moth sitting there. I don't think they can see. I don't know. But they don't usually run away until you make your presence known. Wax moth in here. Holy smokes. Don't usually see wax moth in a viable colony. They're just not very strong. That's not good. They just had frames with too much pollen and stuff they couldn't defend. So the wax moth moved in on them. They may not be viable, I don't know. Maybe they're not. They sure do make a mess. Now, this is a viable colony. They're just tiny. I see eggs and everything. Not sure what to do here. I didn't see the queen, but I saw eggs. So, and they were normal, just really small. What I should do is take this and cage, if I can find the queen, cage the queen, and then get some bulk bees from my honey producers. Bald-faced hornet, former bald-faced hornet. And kind of make one of those bulk bee splits. Not really a split, but sort of. More of an augmentation. Okay, I'll get another couple frames. A little bit wobbly. Oh, this is nice and full. Oh, nice brood frame. Both sides. Oh yeah. She's laying that up. Setting that nest up for winter. Of course, in many respects, there is no such thing as a winter nest here in my climate. It's a winter cluster. And the nest will be all but depleted by the time winter comes, or by early winter for sure. Okay, I need more comb. I'm out of comb. Well, come to think of it, in this situation, I probably could have just put a pallet, put a three-way pallet right here and put these two boxes on it. But I'm not shifting gears again. Made these nice shims with the entrances, so we'll use them. Oh, that's a nice looking one. Oh yeah, Queen has laid that right up. Nice young larva there. There's the queen on the outside. Queen on the outside, and I have to slide this one in next to her. Okay. This one's marked with a T, but this one is not. These fit well on a pallet, except when I get the queen excluders. I run out of space. I had a family here last weekend. A couple brought their two girls. They were, I don't know if they were 8 or 9 or 10 years old, whatever, somewhere in there. And the one girl was so scared. She didn't even want to come anywhere near the yard, let alone the bees. But we dressed her up in a bee jacket, and I was showing her a hive, and I went to break the frames free like this, and by that time she was so comfortable, she was so close that I had to ask her to back up so I could do that. And not only that, but I got that frame pulled. I just pulled the frame up and tipped it up, and she says, "Is that big one the queen?" And I thought, well, fancy you're gonna find a queen just like that. You've never seen a queen before. And she was right. She saw the queen long before I saw the queen. Those young eyes, way better than my old eyes. So that was fun. They had a really good time. I had a good time too. Helped take my mind off how terrible I've been feeling. I don't know where the queen is here. I find it really helps when people visit and they find what I do to be interesting and cool, because I'm too close to it, and it just becomes work so often. And I have to be reminded of really how cool this is. It's very cool. I've done a lot of things in my life, and this is one of the coolest things I've ever done. I have 3 more transfers, and then I'm gonna start putting formic acid on the doubles at least. Oh yeah, I marked some. I put a number 2 on the bricks on some of them. These need seconds. Yeah, wow. Actually, I have 3 more transfers here. There's the queen. Put this empty right beside the queen. Didn't dump the bees out the box. I found 10 of these shims to make the bottom, the makeshift bottom board, and so I just made 10, and I got 10 of the bottom plywood pieces, and it looks like that's exactly what I need. 10. Usually you need 1 more or something. I did find a few more of the shims over there. I know you can't see this one. The same deal over and over. This one's not as strong. Hopefully they'll grow into this box. I knew wax moth could take over in a box with a weak colony, but I'd never seen it in my apiary before today. I think the wax moths have been especially difficult this year, likely due to our mild winter. I think I got a stinger in my arm still. It is a beautiful, beautiful day today. Warm, but not stiflingly hot. A little humid, because it's been raining a lot. But I was getting worried about getting my work done here. I can't work bees when it's 10 or 15 degrees and pissing rain. Oh, well, this isn't good. This is just all laying workers here. Okay, so that's all right. I'll take a quick look anyway. Yeah, they're a bit animated, so that's why. Maybe he took the queen out and didn't address it. This is all drones. It's right full of drones. Okay, so I don't need to do that one. I can use these 4 combs for a second, which I need to add seconds to a couple of these now. Like this one over here. This one here was earmarked for a second. Just give it a very quick howdy do. Looks good. Oh yeah, looks really good. It's gonna really explode here. Now I think that drone brood will be enough for bait, so I'll just stick that drone brood on top. I'll shake the bees off, but I need a queen excluder. All right, so I'm done transfers. I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna put Formic Pro on all of the doubles, except the double that I just made. There's another one down there that has a 2. I think there's another couple that should get a second. I'll deal with those when I get down there. But that requires taking the second box off. Take the second box off, lift the queen excluder. Second boxes are heavy. Ugh, messed up my thing. Okay, lift this. Bees are not gonna like this. It's like all the weight is in the second box. Okay, so you can see that I have quite a few seconds here to do. So that's just what I'm going to be doing, putting that Formic Pro on. And I might be adding a couple more seconds because I know I marked a few the other day. Okay, now if you're wondering why this box is here, it's just I ran out of bricks for these polystyrene covers. They always need some weight, so it's just a weight. So this is going to get a second. I finished putting all the Formic on the ones that had seconds. I don't know. Do you think I should put a Formic on these now that I just added? You know, I'm just adding a second. I didn't on that one. I've got them marked, so I'd like to give them a day or two to, you know, get comfortable with the second box. I need to get my bait frame out of the bottom. Make sure the queen is not on it. A nice new comb for the middle here. She'll lay that up in a day or two. Excluder. I'll make it all stick out one side. The box. Put my bait frame up here. That's a nice frame. Really nice cup on the bottom too. There's nothing in it. 5 more frames of comb. This one, I had written a number 2 on the foot here. And that's all I have to go on for which ones need Formic still. I was just enjoying this beautiful day, and I realized how clear the air is. I won't say that I can't see any remnant of smoke in the distance, but almost none. This has been the first time that I've been able to look into the distance and see, you know, no smoke or almost no smoke for months. Like 3 months, I think, it's been smoky. It's just been one of those years. I think that's part of what's wrong with me. I think I have a number of things that are making me feel bad. And I think that's one of them. Just poor air quality. This box has a big hole in the back. This has a story frame in it. Let's see if I can pull that into the second box. Don't usually run a story frame in a nuke like this. Just hope the queen isn't on it. It's tight. Not boiling, but definitely have filled the box. Brood on the outside frame is a good sign. Good sign they need another box. But question for my international viewers. This yellow queen excluder is, well, I'll show you this gray one. I have quite a few of the gray ones, and they're just a standard Man Lake issue. You know, they work good enough. This yellow one is a European. It's a French company. Nico, or an Anglo such as myself might say Nicot. Are you aware of that brand? Do you like them? Do you see any advantage to them? Tell me about that in the comments. Not exactly a boomer, but they're doing fine, so I'll give them space in case they start storing anything away. I don't think there's a nectar flow, and I think the nectar flow is mostly done with. But they'll have a little more space for brood. More space for brood in that one frame, I mean. I don't want you thinking that I'm under the delusion that they're going to brood in a box above a queen excluder. Oh, this is a nice one. And there's bees all over the top of that foamy. That's a good sign. Just hope the queen isn't in it. Big fat honey frame with some brood on it. I just hope there's not a queen on it. These big fatties are hard to shake off. Bald-faced hornets. I think that's all for today. Tomorrow I can add Formic to these that I just added the second box, or maybe I'll wait another day. And also tomorrow I can add Formic to the honey producers there that have a number of honey supers over the queen excluder. You can see my back is all bent. I can't hardly stand up straight. I'm kind of hurting, but I feel really good. And you know what? I'm a firm believer in you know, if you feel bad, if you're not feeling good, it weighs on your mind too. For me, I don't feel good because I'm not getting my work done. That's stressful. That causes me anxiety. And also, you know, when you're working, when you're accomplishing something, I think that does a lot for a person's psyche. If you can't, you know, say, well, what did I accomplish today, and know that you did your best and you tried your hardest and all those sort of things, I think that really does contribute to a person's malcontent, if I may put it that way. So one real positive note on this, you know, when I was just doing that last one and I cracked that box open and looked at that colony in there, and boy, they look nice. They just look so nice. I'm a big advocate, and I've said before, if you're not raising queens, you need to be raising queens. And the why, it comes after, right? Just do it, because the lift that it gives you, the feeling it gives you, all of these 6-frame colonies, this would not have existed but for the work of my hands, right? Let that sink in. They didn't all work out. You saw me shake a number of them out. A number of them didn't mate, on and on and on. But a lot of them did. And not all of them are going to make the winter, but I'm sure a lot of them will. Besides the fact that, I'm hoping they winter well and they make me some honey and make me some money next year. That's just the business part of it. Boy, the feeling and the uplifting that it gives a person to raise those queens and see these colonies grow and burst through their boxes and need a second box, etc. I can't explain how that makes me feel. And I'm sure it would make you feel good too if you were doing it. If you're not raising queens, look at this. Look at this here. Look at all these nucs here. That's the work of my hands, right? That's life. That is life. Those are bees. Those are queens that are laying bees and colonies that are thriving and going into the landscape and pollinating and bringing back nectar and making honey, on and on and on. That's the work of my hands. That's why I do it. That's exactly why I raise queens. You can go to the store and buy them, and sometimes you should. I buy queens from time to time. There's reasons to buy queens. But there's also reasons to raise queens. And the biggest reason to raise queens is two. You can, and you should. I raise queens for me. I raise queens to edify myself, to make myself feel good. Because boy, this makes me feel good. It makes my back hurt because sometimes I get a little too carried away in it, and I'll raise 100 or more nucs, and I spend my whole time tending to them. But these are my babies, right? I raised these. I made these. So I encourage you, if you're not raising queens, you need to raise queens. I don't care if you have 1 colony or 1,000. You need to raise queens, and there are viable paths for any size apiary. You need 1. If you have 1 or more, you can raise queens. I'm going to leave you with that, and hopefully I can come back here tomorrow, catch some weather, and get some more formic on these. It says it's supposed to be nice, but rain later on, so I'll try to get here before the rain starts. Okay, I have to go rest now. Thanks for watching. Take care and have fun.